This is why you shouldn't keep all your money in the bank. Are you the type of person who puts all your money in the bank? Well, we all believe that is the safest thing we can do to protect and grow our money. Most especially for people who are working and do not have enough time to use their money on other things. Well, if you plan to grow your money, you have to watch this video. While most people may not be surprised, banking and investing can be hard to understand. We want to break down some of these important topics so you can make better financial decisions in the future. Luckily for you, laptop lifestyler, we have prepared a list of why you shouldn't keep all your money in the bank. We will also help you see the signs if you are keeping too much money in your bank account. If you want to know why and how, you should keep on watching. Remember that while the first step is completing any of these amazing courses, the second and possibly more important step is taking action even if it's an imperfect action. We won't let you wait for too long, so let's get straight to the point. The reason why we say don't keep all your cash in the bank is that banks create money with a fractional reserve system. Fractional reserve banking means a bank is required to maintain 10% of your deposits and savings, which are backed by actual cash, ready for withdrawal anytime. If you were to give the bank $10,000 cash, they are required to hold on to $1,000 of that money in reserves, and the remaining 90% goes into loans and investments. In the name of loyalty and trust, you can't do anything about it if your bank invests in a company that doesn't align with your values. But in return, banks will give you a small percentage of their profits. They earn interest off the money that you put into them. You need to understand fractional reserve banking, or you won't fully comprehend the concept of why it's not a smart idea to save all your money in the bank. They dropped that reserve from 10% to 0 when the pandemic happened. So technically speaking, as of today, if you were to give $10,000 to the bank, they're not required to keep any of that cash on hand. Did you see that coming? However, when we look into your online banking, you'll see that the money is there and it can be easily accessed. This is what digital currency is all about. So although the number representing digital money might appear as a liability for your bank, you can always have access to that cash if you decide to withdraw it. So hold on to your funds for worries about liability. If you were wealthy and had $10,000 in the bank and 15 to 20 grand from others, you would have a huge buying power if everyone pulled their money in. If all your money is withdrawn at once, the bank will not have enough cash on hand to maintain its operations. And because of this, banks only take investments from those with a nearby address to save them a lot of time and effort. Some banks offer free checking accounts to lure you in, making it seem as if a high interest offered by savings and checking accounts is too much for your pocket. However, their money isn't safe because the market knows this. So let's just switch that mindset. The message here for investors is to switch their thinking about what banks are. Since there are a lot of opportunities available out there, it's important to remember that you won't be able to grow your wealth if you don't produce more than inflation. And in order to beat inflation, you need to receive 6 or more times the amount to make up for the hidden taxation to net a return of 5%. When inflation is taken into account, the cost of goods like a bag of chips can be quite difficult to imagine. With the cost increasing every single year, this invisible tax on your wallet can make life expensive. You see, our money is not increasing with inflation. If it's only worth $9,800 in purchasing power in today's market, then your savings won't go as far as they should. So you're technically losing money in terms of value, but your dollar is the same on paper. Real world value isn't the same. So we have to switch our mindsets around it and think as banks do. Here's the point of this video. The goal is to take your money away from the banks who've done nothing for you and instead lend out your money to other people who are using those opportunities to make a fortune. Make sure you have at least a 3 to 6 month stash of emergency money, saved from being spent on frivolous expenses. Keep the money in there and never touch it unless you need it. In worst case scenarios, keeping a liquid reserve is key. Not only do you need to have the funds available in cash, but they should also be readily accessible. This is what banks are for. Also, if you're lucky enough to have a great credit score, then you could use the bank for loans. Banks know where their money is going and know how much of it is being used. They audit, they can account for the money, and then send it to the right places. Becoming like a bank requires knowing your finances daily. To track finances, start with number 1. You need to audit your expenditures and transactions every day. With continuous accounting, you will always know where your money goes, what you're spending it on, or how much. You need to be auditing your finances daily to make sure everything is working out and balanced properly. You seem to have percentages based on withdrawals, but you never specify if these are drawn from a bank or if they are amounts you withdraw from your savings. You're just taking advantage of everyone else who is free-flowing their money through you. It's best to have a plan in place for your finances that is not based on assumptions or estimations. Knowing what percentages of income will be allocated for savings and weekly expenses can help you budget more effectively. There are things that you can do now to save money so you're able to watch your money grow. One way is to become aware of where your money is going, but you must make changes today so the savings will be available in the future. Now that you are auditing yourself and you're treating yourself like a bank, step number 2 is to learn the basics of investing. Banks use your money for their profit at the cost of losing most of it. Don't be like them in investing your money the same way. You can learn the basics of investing by either reading or watching. Learning to invest can be done through several methods, including reading, watching videos, and listening to podcasts. You'll need the right foundation to build your business, and reading books like Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki and Master the Game by Tony Robbins can make a solid base for your education. The books will teach you the basics of how money flows and what it takes to invest your capital wisely. The more time you spend on financial education, the less scary it will be for you when you start to invest. With practice, you'll learn how to stay informed and confident, 2 skills that will make investing a lot easier. We often hear the argument that most people invest their money and lose a lot of it, but that is not the case for everyone. People who invest their money and understand what they are doing will experience success the same way when you start your job up to the point where you became aware of everything you were tasked to do. When you get a new job, at first you're clueless. You ask for assistance and help from those who are more experienced. As you learned more and faced hurdles, such as the high demand of work, you were able to overcome them. You are now fully aware of how to carry out your tasks and know what to do each day on the clock. The same thing happens with investing. Instead of spending hours each day researching and trying to figure out what is worth it, you would work smarter since you have already learned exactly what to do. So when you do your investments, you can easily remove anything that isn't worth your time to invest in. For some of the greats, understanding the basics of how investing works is a good way to get started. From there, you can work on testing your skills and eventually get your feet wet in investments. You need to start understanding the market and opportunities if you want to be successful in your investments. For starters, you can follow Dunlap, a master investor who posts great advice on Instagram. He says that it's not worth investing early until you make at least a few thousand paper trades. You can trade and practice stocks without losing real money. You can use paper money and practice trades on an investment simulator to better understand how investing works. And you can learn from your successes by experimenting with paper trades. A trial period of paper trading and learning the process is important for the first 2 to 3 weeks before going live with actual money. Now that you are aware of the mistakes, you'll be able to make better decisions and improve your portfolio. Remember to practice and invest with caution before setting your money on fire. These tips will help your financial situation Being able to understand how banks work will help you with more than just making more money. It helps you create a better situation in terms of finances too. Even though you know all of these things now, we won't be ending it here. You also have to assess yourself whether you are doing the right things or not. We will also show you the signs if you're keeping too much money in your checking account. Let's get straight to it. The first sign is that you don't have a plan for savings. If you don't put money towards a goal, like a retirement or starting an emergency fund, it will be left in your checking account, waiting for whatever comes up. This is not a good way to build wealth. Set up transfers to your time and money accounts each month so that you know how much you will have to help you reach your goals. Having a plan lets you save money while investing and growing your savings, as well as directing any extra money towards further growth. The second sign is that you have been neglecting other financial goals like retirement. It's one thing to neglect financial goals when you don't have the money. It's another thing entirely to put them off when you have disposable income. If your savings and retirement accounts aren't growing, but your checking account is, you have a problem. If your checking account is growing while your other saving accounts are not, it may be that you're keeping too much money in your checking. It takes time for savings to grow fast through compounding interest. If you have the money to invest in a bucket that will increase the more it grows. The third sign is that you think you are missing out on money. According to the FDIC, a checking account has an interest rate of 0.03%. This is much lower than the interest rates for a high-yield savings account, which goes as high as 0.5%. These returns on investments can also be found in checking accounts. Given all the risks associated with a checking account, you could potentially be missing out on certain growth opportunities. If you're not comfortable with this level of risk, it's time to move your savings account to a different one. The fourth sign is that you are missing out on opportunities. If you have a large checking account but you are not saving enough into your 401k investment, then your money is locked up in this account that you aren't using. A 401k match would allow you to double down on savings without spending any funds and is something like free money. The extra cash would be better suited for your retirement investments. Consider rolling your money into an HSA even if you don't have a high deductible healthcare plan so that you can start saving for retirement early. Contributing a lump sum of money will make more progress towards building wealth than in your checking account. Even with a regular monthly deposit, the power of compound interest can help cover all of your living expenses. Anyone with a high deductible health plan is eligible, and many people find that they need extra money to cover their healthcare costs in retirement. And lastly, the fifth sign is that your emergency fund is full. Having access to money is a good sign, but you have too much money if you have 6 months' worth of expenses in savings. Generally, an emergency fund includes about 6 months of expenses stored somewhere safe and liquid like a high-yield savings account. Marcy Bear of Bear Financial Planning says that the temptation for adults to put their spare cash in checking may be a natural urge, but she has some advice. She encourages people to invest their money in CDs or invest it in a balanced investment portfolio. What can you say about this video? Is this helpful to you? What do you think about keeping all your money in the bank? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. That's it for this video, Laptop Lifestyler. Remember to subscribe to our channel, and if you feel like we've delivered value, please share this video with one person. That's right, just one person, as a token of your appreciation for the hard work we put into making content that educates and helps you on your mission of building your fortune. Remember, you can watch video after video, but it isn't until you take action that you'll start to see results. See you soon!